Do you like my new hat? I like my new hat. Welcome back. We are out on an early Saturday morning. It is 6:45. I've got to start getting going. Sun rises in 45 minutes, and I think I've decided I'm going up the mountain today. It snowed on Wednesday, so a couple days ago. We got about 5 inches. It's mostly melted now that it's warmer here, but I expect up on the mountain there's going to be a good bit. So I expect to go walking through the snow today. We'll see what we can see. I brought the pocket cinema camera and the 100 to 400 lens. So I should be able to get a good bit of distance. I'm going to do some walking around like I did 2 months ago now at this point. Oof. Yeah, back in November. I got out with the camera that was more of a handheld, movable, a mobile setup kind of thing, instead of being hunkered down in the blind, since I don't have a good spot to go to for that. I did think about going back to the state park today, because I was like, oh, I could go see, I know there's plenty of birds there. We're after the 1st. We are on, I don't know, what's today, the 7th, the 8th? I put my phone up here. Today's the 8th, yes. I've mounted 2 different cameras in 2 different places. I won't actually be using the phone right now, but I thought after doing a test on earlier this week, Tuesday maybe, after getting that set up and determining that being able to use either camera that record in 60 frames per second, and this one just does 1080, whereas the phone does 4K. This one's got a better control camera sensor. I can put a light on it like this. I can hook up my whole wireless audio thing. The only thing I was concerned about was whether or not it's going to look good when it's been upscaled to 4K, and it does. So that's acceptable to me. I thought about this. I watched last weekend the Grand Tour put out another one of their videos, which are always just hilarious and awful and so good. But it interests me very much in how they do things like that. And a portion of what they do driving around in cars is kind of what I do. So I look for that for inspiration and things like that. And they mount a few different cameras so you can get different angles of different things. And one of the things I really was interested in was that they put a tripod more or less in the back seat and hunkered it down and had it pointing out so that you could actually see out the windshield of what the scenery was like as they would make comments about, oh, look how beautiful the fields of Scotland, or I don't know, wherever they were, depending on which video you watch. But anyway, the point is, I'd like to do that. And I had a thought about how I would do it if I set up a tripod with the legs going down behind the seats, and then the third one kind of anchoring it, and then put a rod in between the 2 windows, like a curtain rod or something, but with suction cups, and then actually mount them together and weigh it down. That would require me to put a tripod in here more or less permanently. That would not be the kind of setup that I would set up the morning of to do, but that would help for longer road trips, which I do plan on doing at some point. I realized I started talking about going to the state park, and I didn't finish that. Now that we are after the 1st, my tag expired. My pass was for 1 year, and it's just good for the length of that 1 year. So I got to get a new one. And they already emailed being like, hey, you can get your new passes. We're switching over to a new system. It's a little funky. Yeah, it was broken. I couldn't actually purchase anything, but I assume that will be fixed in time. I'll get a pass. I'll be able to go back to the state parks. I still have a national park pass for a little bit longer. So I'm hoping to do that. But with the weather, when it snows that much and they close the interstate around, I don't like to venture out and try to go get trapped in the snow. So I got all loaded up. I set up these cameras so I can have a few different angles should I choose. I probably won't use the phone because I'm just going to do a quick drive. This isn't going to be a long one where I'll be doing a lot of talking. I think I've got everything here. I'm going to eat a protein bar right quick for breakfast and get ready to go. Be up there before the sun rises. I'm not entirely sure why it detects the 2 levels left and right differently for this. That's interesting. All the lights have gone up. I'm on top of the mountain now. I'm going to start getting ready. Okay, I did not put the lava on because it's a lot. And here, there's definitely a good more than a foot of snow on the ground. I walked a couple hundred feet away from where I parked, started following the trail, and I'm going onto a different trail now. There was school buses showing up, which I hope is here to ski. There's a lot of people here to ski, but they're on the other side of the mountain. I plan on going this way as I point with my microphone. The only thing I don't have yet is an adapter to put this on top of the camera, so that if I need to just have this be the microphone attached to the camera, I can. Anyway, we're going to walk for a while and see what we can see. Okay, walked up to the top of the mountain. As it turned out, there's a sign that says Ridge over that way, and I'm going to head there next. But as I get closer to the top, wildlife, finally. It's been several hours. I think it's, judging off of the announcer over at the ski slope, I assume, who's on a megaphone, and all it makes me think of is the sports movies from the 80s at the ski slope, which, not that I think I've ever watched one of them, but what I have seen is the parodies done by like South Park and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's every possible 80s movie. Whoop, headphones falling off. Anyway, yeah, I wasn't seeing much, which was a little disappointing at first. I would hear something every once in a while, a crow making an interesting noise, and I got footage. By that I mean I turned it on so I could get the audio, and the picture will just be, trees or something out of focus because I'm not even paying attention to that. But then as I walked up the hill, I saw a little bird across the path from me on the tree, which was enough for me to stop and pull up the camera. And then as I'm setting it up, there's chirping right behind me in one of these trees. There's a little squirrel right there. I don't even know if you can hear it, but yeah, there goes the announcer. I guess there's some kind of event going on. Maybe that's what the school buses were for, whether or not it's schools or if they just borrowed the buses to get people in and out. I don't know. Point being, got up here, set up the camera, squirrel, cool. Then I heard another noise and I turned around and there's a bird, big one, for bird size, northern flicker sized, so large woodpecker. In between that, maybe a small hawk, like a kestrel, I think they're called. I think I've seen one once, but it was so far away, so blurry. I really want to see more because they are very pretty and they've got orange to them, which is a good color. Oh, there's people coming. All right, well, anyway, I saw a bird.
Trying something a little bit here. Should have taken my jacket off when I got back to the car, but I didn't. I also didn't put anything away. I just put it right here on the front seat because I thought, thinking about making a stop on the way home at the river to see if I could see any more of those northern pintails, where I got photos of them last week. It'd be cool to get some video of them if they happen to be at that spot on the river again, which might be likely and might not really sure. Walked quite a bit today. I was out all in all more than 4 hours. I did learn I was not supposed to be out at all. Did not realize that. I missed the signs. That was just entirely my fault. Fully made a mistake that the trails and everything are closed if you don't have snowshoes. Those clip-on, not just the skiing places, which I avoided as best I could, because that obviously makes sense. But just entirely just walking around in boots like I am. Not supposed to do that. Didn't know that. Make sure I don't come back until I have some of those. Roads are all big slush mud now. Taking it nice and slow. But yes, getting up on top of the mountain. Well, coming back once I was informed by a nice lady. And then I saw it on the sign myself, and I went, oh yeah, whoops. Definitely not supposed to be out here. It is closed to people who do not have the snowshoes or dogs, which in retrospect makes sense. Packing down snow and you're leaving trail marks and things like that in order to get traction, whereas the larger footprint of a snowshoe would do something like that, a bit similar, and keep you up on top of things so you're not packing it down. But either way, this bend. Coming back after I found that out, I got off the trail and walked through several feet of snow and in parts to get back to the car. I was already done at that point and headed back anyway. But yeah, getting up on top of the mountain like that, I do want to come back and do that again sometime, because there were a couple new birds that I have not seen before. Not entirely sure. I'll have to look in the book to see what they are when I get back home, because I'm not 100% on any of them. Well, I did see, I think, a finch. No, wait, sparrow. I've seen them in the backyard before. They've got a distinct coloring where they're brown and black. I have seen those at home, and I saw one of those for a second. I didn't get it on camera because it was just there for a second and gone. Ooh, ears popping as I move down the mountain. Testing something different with the mic here. I did not put it on me because I'm still wearing the fluffy jacket. Fluffy. The one that would make a lot of noise if I was doing that, and I didn't feel like digging the lapel mic out of the bag. So I've just put it up in my visor here. My sun blocker. There's a word for that, and I've forgotten what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a visor. I just stuck it up there, and hopefully this comes out. Well, is it in black and white? Not handling the bright outside with the not so bright inside very well, which makes sense. I don't have a good way to block out the outside light so that it'll adjust to the inside. Besides turning on another light, which would not overpower the sun. But anyway, yes, saw some new birds, learned some things, made some mistakes, learning from those. Didn't know, but saw the birds that I saw were pretty cool. I definitely got some decent footage of one, a pair of them, but a new type, the big one that I was talking about when I was out there. Long beak, mostly gray, but a lot of black on the back in the tail feathers and area. kind of like a northern flicker, but colored differently, just as far as the size and the fact that it was pecking at pine cones. I think I saw one grab a whole pine cone itself and then fly off with it. I don't know what it was. They were getting at things inside the pine cones, maybe? I can't wait to see that footage to see what it looked like and how it came out. Never figured out what the event was that was going on. There was something. There was a lot of cheering and crazy stuff. Some kind of, I don't know, skiing, cross-country ski, maybe? Is that a thing? I don't know. Plenty. I never saw where it was, so I assume it was at the actual ski slope that is around somewhere. It is a shame you can't see out into these fields, because it is very interesting to see all the grass and the plains, the hills and everything without the snow, and then the snow-covered mountains just right next to them. It would make for a good landscape photo between the two of them. So yes, not quite done. I am going to go stop by the river and see if there are any birds there, and if there are, I will grab the camera again and do a quick thing. See if I can get some footage of them before I head home. Not quite, probably home around noon-ish, depending on how long I spend looking for the waterfowl. And then I'll get to work playing other stuff and doing things. Anyway, that's enough for now. See, if I do that, then it brightens it up. Okay, well, I'm here. I'm gonna go look and see if there are birds. Okay, so, good stuff. Very good stuff. I forgot the camera. I forgot my phone. I forgot this camera in the car. I just got out and I went, oh, let's go see if there are any. And as soon as I saw that there were, I grabbed the big camera and started going for it. So, I did get some good footage, I think, of the northern pintail. And I did notice that there was a female out here this time. I don't remember. Well, I looked, and in the photos of what I got last week, it did not appear to be a female. It looked more like a female mallard, because they do look very similar. But for sure, I saw the longer tail this time, and also they had black feet and not orange. So definitely a female northern pintail, which is great. And I saw some golden eyes, which I very much enjoy. The audio will probably not come out from any of this at all, because we are right next to where the water hits some rocks and there are some rapids, and also there was a train for a large portion of this, but good stuff. Very happy to be out here, very happy to be doing it. The one thing that I would be really sweet to upgrade, but when I bought the cinema camera, that was the only one that they had
that would do 6K. There was a 4K one that was a little bit cheaper, and I went, well, looking at it and making the decision between the two, I did that. They now have a 6K Pro, which basically is very similar. It does most of the same things, but one of the, it takes different batteries, which would be good. I could use it in different ways, but one of the main things that I've noticed here, just you doing this today, because there was a good bit of sunlight and then not so much sunlight and then a good bit of sunlight again, and I was constantly wind up standing in the glare. The Pro has an articulating screen, so the screen would come out and move up and down so I can get rid of the glare and still be able to see what was going on. In the meantime, I was doing a lot of this, looking at it, trying to make sure things were in focus and whatnot. One of the reasons why I got the other camera, which is a lot bigger and harder to do here, more of a handheld. Not really, it's still on the tripod, but not mobile. It's definitely a lot easier to do that one, sitting in one place. Which I might look and see how the weather's going to be the rest of this weekend and see if there is going to be a sitting in place thing that I can go do. Obviously going back up on top of the mountain is out until I can get some snowshoes. Mistakes were made. Lessons learned. I hope nobody was hurt, but there's a reason the rules are rules, so won't do that again. I'll have to look. As soon as I can get another state pass, I'd like to go to some of the state parks again, but that will require me to have a state pass that is valid. Good day. Very good day. Very happy. Hope some of the footage comes out. It's quite fun. Good to get back to it. It's been a little bit. I didn't get to go out nearly as much as I had planned for my Christmas break, but that's okay. I'm not beating myself up about it or anything. I got plenty of other things done. I'm being productive in other ways. I'm not just mindlessly doing things, even if it's, something that another person, maybe from a previous time, an older person, who may be a parent, dad, saying that I waste time playing video games. Just teasing. I don't. It's been a long time since I've heard anything like that. I still find it productive and I still use it in different ways and it fulfills me, so I'm happy about it. And I have made several goals in playing different video games and accomplishing things, so it's good for me. I appreciate the time that I get to do that, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go home and play video games. First, I'm going to eat. I'm hungry. All I had today was that protein bar, and I expended quite a good bit of calories going out in this cold weather. It's a little above freezing. I think it's still below 40, but, between 33 and 40, somewhere in there, because I saw 33 on the car this morning. Oh, is this my camera saying fade to black because that's it? You're done? Okay.